I'm not sure my lighting. My lighting is ass. Okay, so yesterday I did not do the heart therapy, tarot heart therapy session yesterday. So as I've stated in an earlier reading, I needed to take a break a little bit just in between time. Okay, just in between time for readings, at least collectively. So I haven't really been prompted or inspired to do much collective reads as often as I usually have. So yeah, but I'm her now. So greetings, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday so far, or you've enjoyed it because it's probably over for you, or you're gonna watch this post live. Now, I need to get a different deck because I might use Rider Waite, but I feel led to use my big ass Rider Waite deck. This one's kind of like on camera, it's kind of a hit or miss. You see how it has that, that holographic vibe to it. So I'm gonna cast these to the side. Okay, I have to get through all these cards to get to my other one. Dang it! It's like at the bottom of these cards. Hold on. I'm getting my big Rider Waite babies out. If I can get it with no problem without making other cards fall, that would be great. That would be great. Okay, here they are. These are my big Rider Waite babies. Aren't they big, huge cards? I can't remember. I think I got these on Amazon. So let me put these ones back because we are going to use the Rider Waites. Okay. I love my other cards. Yes, I do. But I'm going to use these because they are my babies. Yeah, these are huge. Like y'all probably see me use these like maybe a few times, not often. I don't use these cards often at all. And then it has like a really big guidebook. So, it's like getting a traditional Rider Waite like any other size, but it's just a big ass one. So it's the same shit in the box. Same thing. Yeah, that traditional front of it. Let me light my incense because it is not lighting. Hold on. This is my baby. I love this incense. Why do I love this incense? Because it has a 2 hour, 3 hour burn success rate. Okay, these never fail me and they smell amazing. This particular scent, at least, it smells amazing. It just it just smells like that man, that guy that just looks like he eats vegan chips, smokes the best ganja, and listens to Lucky Day and Teddy Pendergrass. Like it just, and he smells like patchouli. That's what this incense reminds me of. It just has that smell. I love it. I'll let it burn a little bit so I can get that because they're really thick. Like I don't know what these shits are made out of, but they burn very slow and they smells so good. I think it's frankincense, sandalwood or something. It's got that woody smell. Like I'm a sandalwood, vanilla, jasmine, patchouli type of person. Myrrh, like I love those type of scents. It smells so good to me. Okay, so let's get to the reading. Say hello to my little friend, by the way. Say hi. Isn't he cute? Aren't they cute? My little lighter friend. He's cute. All right, let's put this back. Let's get into the reading. I want to do my oracle cards first, and then we'll get to the tarot. Foxy. Let's get to that. Okay, I don't want no nip slips on camera. We don't want no nip slips. Hey, Samantha. I'm good. How are you? How are you, sis? How you doing? How has your week been so far? It's hump day. Happy hump day. I'm doing pretty good. I just got in the house not long ago. I had some tacos, some chips and guacamole, and some margaritas with my mom because I had to do some shit downtown real quick. But yes, I had a good day so far. I mean, the day is halfway over, but it's been cool. Okay. Just trying to ground my energy. It's a lot going on. Just collectively, yeah. Why does this card have to come out? Oh no. Don't let me be that reader today. I don't want to read this type of shit, but we're going to. Spirit. Okay, so let me just tell you what I have so far, and of course I'm going to clarify it. So in my deck, I'm using my Divine Energy Oracle deck. I have the Witchcraft, Occult, Demonic Activity, and Technology card with the little cute version of the Baphomet. Bad Juju with this cute voodoo doll, but there's nothing cute about it, but it's a little cute little, and the Judas. Got like the little hangman. Y'all used to play that. I don't know if y'all used to play that. When I was a kid in like elementary school, if we had time left over at the end of the day before the bell rung, my teacher would play hangman. So I don't know if y'all remember that game. Light and shadow with the yin and yang. Okay. I feel like there's going to be a karmic justice imbalance. I'm not getting like people, even if, let's say hypothetically, because I don't like to entertain it, but it's real. People out here really do be putting spells on people, or at least attempting to, trying to put roots on people and all that kind of crazy shit. And you have people out here that have no business. They don't know what they're doing. They're not that equipped and skilled, but they Google some shit and was like, oh, this person at the grocery store gave me an ugly look. I remember her name. Her name was such and such. I'm about to put a spell on her. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make her hair fall out. And Google some stuff and just get into things that they have no business. And there's always consequences to that. So I just kind of get like, you could be on the opposite end of this, of where you might have been, I won't even say a victim, because I don't see this. It seems like if something has happened, and if it's not witchcraft for certain, for sure, because I don't want to entertain that too much, but use your discernment. I don't want to instill paranoia in people. And if you already have that spirit of fear, like, I do not want to antagonize it, trigger it any further. So let's say that this could just be negative energy towards you, like someone that has it bad out for you, or just negative energy. They do things, they're being used to be an antagonist in your life. um I feel like there's consequences to that with the Judas card, because Judas, in the story of Jesus, right, Judas was one of his disciples, and he sold him out for some change. So it ended up being the fulfillment of a prophecy, a bigger and greater prophecy, a greater thing, a good thing. So what Judas did was just, he just played his role. Even though it was a bad deed, it was ultimate betrayal, he still helped fulfill a prophecy. So it seems like for some of you, the things that you might perceive as like bad juju, bad luck on your life, and it doesn't even have to be like another person or people are at the end of it. It could just be circumstances in life, and you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick. I feel like you're going to understand that, because I feel like the concept of light and dark, or shadow and light energy, it's like they go hand in hand. There is no existence without the other, right? So yeah, sometimes the bad people, they do play a significant role in this thing we call life, and a greater picture. And I feel like you're gonna see that at some point in your life while certain things happened. And you may be like, you might feel more inspired, you may feel more blessed, and like, you know what, I've been through some crazy shit in my life, or there's things that could have happened to me, like really bad things, or I could have, that car accident was completely, I could have been dead, but something miraculous happened, or I shouldn't even be alive right now, or it's certain things that when you look back on, that you look at the time, it might have seemed like it was something dark, something evil, or something bad, or people betrayed you, smiled in your face, kissed you on your cheek, but stabbed you in the back, sold you out. You're going to see the blessing in it, and you're going to be like, wow, like, you're inspired by it. It's something that makes you feel a sense of, it's like the spiritual, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like, I can't even find the right words. You just feel a sense of like, you feel blessed, like, wow, like, you know what, like, it's a sense of empowerment. That, I guess that's the best word that I could put to this. Spirit, can you give me more guidance? Hey, baby Pico, how are you? Hey, let's see. I know that sounds crazy, but if you get it, you get it. You know, when you come out of some dark stuff and you come up unscarred, and it's just like that's nothing but God. It's nothing but just a blessing. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Two of Wands, Two of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, you could be at a crossroads right now in your life where you kind of don't really know which way you're going, or you've already made a decision to go on a specific path and you feel like, was that the right decision? Should I have moved um accordingly? Like, was that the right decision? Because it could still be this kind of like you're in the dark about some things. It may seem like nothing has really progressed or changed for the better yet, or it's making you question whether or not you made the right choice or decision. Some of you guys may have walked away from someone, or you just walked away from people in general, or you've made a decision to leave something behind in a chance to expand, or in a chance to grow, or to be just in a different space in your life. And you may feel like right now, because you're not seeing the immediate results of that, it doesn't seem like nothing has changed. As a matter of fact, for some of you guys may feel like things are worse. I do get that with the Nine of Swords here, you're not at peace with something. I want to clarify this. The Star. Yeah, this is about direction. This is about your path, the ultimate, like, guided direction. Where am I headed? Where am I going? That's like the biggest thing for you right now. Six of Wands. The reassurance of this message again is like this blessing coming out blessed. Yeah, Four Wands at the bottom of that. And being in a place where it could be like community, something about community, or feeling better in tune or connected with those around you, or aligning with people who are in alignment with where you're headed and where you're going. But the Star card, I feel like you're still in the midst of clearing out the old and kind of walking into the new, or prepping yourself for the new, or just, pouring your ideas. Some of you guys, this is you manifesting, actively manifesting, focusing on your intentions, your visualizations. This could be you doing a lot of healing and releasing, and intentively, like, that is your focus. Like, I'm going to work on these parts of myself and this part of myself. Um, I still want to clarify this Nine of Swords though, because I feel like you're about to face a major fear. Like, yeah, it could feel like a test a little bit. It could feel like a test where the Ace of Swords came out, the Ace of Wands came out. These are new energies. These are new beginnings. You have the World card, and you have the Devil. Okay. So it could feel like this testing energy, like spirit may be causing you to face your biggest fears. So, as an example, hey, sis. As an example, let's say, for instance, you left a job that no longer serves you. You don't feel any passion in that arena, that field, or that company, and you feel like you're led to do something different. You feel like you're led to go after your real dreams, your real goals, instead of like just taking a job because it's a 9 to 5 job, or, oh, that's just something common for me. Let me do this because, this is what I'm good at, or, I have experience in this job field, but that's not where your passions lie. You're doing it for a check. You're doing it for stability, which there's nothing wrong with that. You're at a point where you're taking action towards something different. So the example, like I said, where you might have been led to leave a job, and that fear of instability, your money dwindling, or, not making that money that you used to, and you're starting to see your savings kind of dwindle a little bit, right? That biggest fear is coming up, and it's almost like a test. Like, do you trust this process? Do you trust the path? Do you trust divine spirit? Hey, Diane. Greetings. Yeah, so it could be like um this fear that's coming up, that the biggest fear that you have, and it could be that fear of failure, and that fear of failure may look differently to each and every one of you, right? And I feel like that's the biggest test, because I feel like spirit is giving you this blessing, or this opportunity to start fresh and start over, start new. So let's see. The World card and the Devil. Yeah, you're about to face like a big fear. You're about to face this thing that may keep you chained. It's like the boogeyman, right? Where that thing in your closet where you stared at it for months and months. It's like, oh my God, I'm scared. I don't even want to look at it. I'm going to put the cover over my head, or I'm going to turn over to the other side of my bed, so I don't have to look in my closet. And one day you get up and you stand up and you open that closet and you stand in front of it and you face that so-called boogeyman and you turn on the lights and it's just a motherfucking coat. That's all it was a coat. Okay? And a box of sneakers at the top of it. It was not a boogeyman. It was not this big square head box demon in your closet. It was an illusion. So I feel like you're going to face that, and it's a big thing that you're going to overcome, and you're going to free yourself. The Devil card too is kind of almost like, if you give your power and your fear away to the illusions of the devil, then you're trapped. But once you see that they have no dominion or power over you, only what you allow, then you're free. So it's kind of just like the sword even here. I feel like the sword represents you being fearless and you cutting cords, or cutting ties with that thing that keeps you chained and wrapped up in fear. And you need to know as well that you are divinely protected. You are divinely directed. Each of these elements in this card, interestingly enough, represent the different directions, right? I also feel like too, these depictions, because these four elements, they're also, yeah, the four elements as well: air, earth, fire, water. But they also represent the four heads of the cherubim. It's a cherubim that has four heads: a head of a man, and an eagle, an ox, and a lion. And that angel also symbolizes divine prophecy as well, if I'm not mistaken, that cherubim spirit. I think it was in the book of Ezekiel. So you are divinely guided and divinely protected and covered in all directions. Right after I got out of the car, like, I have no business drinking margaritas and listening to Fred Hammond and all of that. But before I got out of the car, I put on Fred Hammond's "We're Blessed." That's one of my favorite gospel songs. It's just a song that just uplifts me and reminds me of that. Listen to the song or the lyrics itself. You are divinely protected. You are. And that includes not fearing what's to come so much. Yeah, it's a human emotion to worry about our tomorrow, or to at least ponder or wonder about our tomorrow, our future. But we can't focus too much on the future because we haven't stepped into it yet. And if we place fear into it, we're going to manifest that. We're going to step into that. So, yeah. Let's switch gears. I feel like that was just like an introduction message. I feel like you needed to know that. So let's see what else Spirit wants you to know. I'm going to put the energies back in the deck. Holy Spirit, is there anything, any other messages or guidance that you have for the collective? Yeah, there's a lot of purification that's happening on the planet, and it's in ways that maybe that we don't necessarily agree with, but things have to manifest a certain way. I don't know. I just felt led to say that. Yeah. Okay. So the reason why some of you guys may be guided to detach from certain things, like cut certain things off that you perceive as unhealthy for you at this time, or you feel like it's causing a distraction to you, or you feel guided to like clean your space all of a sudden. You may also feel guided to literally clean your space, like clean up, your house, move some things out of your house. You may be guided to throw some things away, donate some things, or maybe even doing like a spiritual cleanse in your house, or all of the above. You have the cleanse your space card, this little cute little smudge stick. And you also have the unplug card with the divine promotion. So spiritually, you are being leveled up. You're being promoted to the next level in your spiritual journey and your phase. So with that, it's more wisdom, more awareness, more connectivity to the universe and to all things around you, maybe even more sensitive, but more wiser. You're moving wiser. You're moving with you know, a healthy set of boundaries or different levels of boundaries. I feel like this is why, you know, you've been called to this, if that's what you've been doing. Grounding, yeah. Funding and investing the orphan spirit. To answer your question, for those of you that are afraid about taking, you know, taking risks that you feel divinely guided to, you feel like they are something you're being called to, step out on faith, step into new energies, let go of the past. That fear is arising with the orphan spirit, which is a childhood trauma thing, where you feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you can't get it right. You feel like kind of, you know, you have no sense of support sometimes, or you might tell yourself this, like, no one supports me. And I don't feel like that's true per se. That childhood trauma is coming up for those of you that might fear this new beginning. Funding and investing. Yeah, you're funding and investing, maybe literally financially funding and investing something for yourself, or let's say business wise, or it could be like your future, like you have goals for a home, or you want to buy a piece of land, or whatever it is, or it's just investing in you, something of value to you that you're investing your time and your energy into. And there's a little bit of a fear around that. Um, with the grounding card, you're being called to ground your energy and really tap into your heart space and work on your heart space, work on your heart and work on opening and being receptive. Okay. In order to receive things that are of your highest good and blessed for you, in order to even recognize it or see a blessing, your heart has to be open. And sometimes it's a little scary at times, but I feel that that spirit of fear, you'll override that when you're in your heart space, or you're in a place where your heart is in a healthy space and place of receptivity. Okay. Um, feel like this goes with love as well, because I know that that's always something that is on the hearts and the minds of a lot of us is, you know, love. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, even when investing your heart into someone, there is a chance that you could face disappointment. But I feel like as long as you're moving with integrity and you're moving in the direction of what's healthy for you, and not, you know, from a place of fear or desperation or anxiousness, um, you will land into situations that I feel like that will be beneficial for you, and that includes love. But you have to subside that fear that you have. Um, there is something with childhood trauma here, and I feel like all of us have faced some level of trauma as a child that we could still be carrying, and it still could be manifesting in different ways in our lives. So you know personally what that is for you. Yeah, some of you guys might be called to, like, I'm seeing like a cell phone, so something with your cell phone. Um, some of you guys might need to get a new phone. I don't know, this is so random. It's not your charger, it's your phone. If your phone is overheating or it's not holding a charge, it's something with your phone, or the battery needs to be replaced. And for some of you guys, feel called to, like, not use your phone so much, or take breaks away from your phone, you know, if necessary. Let me know if you guys can hear me too, because my mic. No personal questions, y'all. Not in the read. Let's see. Holy Spirit. The collective who is meant to receive this. The Page of Cups. Yeah, you have to be open and receptive. High Priestess, trusting your intuition. Five of Pentacles, you're not going to be left out in the cold. Yeah, there's a fear of rejection, death. Yep. Ace of Swords, no lies told there, right? So I'm going to sum this up, because this can be about anything in your life. You could place this in anything in your life that is concerning you, where this resonates with you. No matter what it is, whether it's love, whether it's your career, whether it's your health, whether it's family, whatever it is, right? So with the Page of Cups being here, I do feel like this is confirming the message about being emotionally receptive, being in your heart space, grounding your energy, coming down to earth a little bit and being present. Okay. Sometimes we could be a little too spiritual to the point where we're not spiritual. Like, we overanalyze every single thing. And I've, you know, been really, really working on just being practical and being grounded, but not too practical or too grounded, because I know that I can be extreme in that as well. So when you're present, you can experience things. You're more aware. You're more self-aware, and you're aware of your surroundings when you just slow down and you're present. But there is this opportunity to open your heart. Now, your inner child self, you may be like more imaginative than usual, or you're getting back into that place within yourself where you were creative and you you did listen to the promptings of your heart or the visions that you had, or you allowed yourself to dream and think big. I'm getting that. But again, with grounded energy, like you can't just be all up in the spiritual and not grounded out or have a practical plan in order. So the high priestess, I feel, represents that spiritual wisdom that you have as well, where you're getting back to that place with the Page of Cups of being receptive, tapping into that inner child, light, playful energy, but also that part of yourself that is able to dream and imagine the impossible, but grounded with practicality and also with your wisdom and using it. When it comes to opening up your heart to receive, or to receive people, or to receive new things in your life in general, you have the wisdom. You don't have to necessarily have all of the answers right away, but there is an impression that you feel, and Spirit saying to listen, to honor that. The Five of Pentacles in reverse is, I feel like this is the subconscious fear of, if I were to follow my heart, trust my intuition, trust my instincts, trust what I'm sensing and feeling, that if I do this, this will leave me in a situation where um I'm not going to receive, or I'm not going to have, or I'm going to be left without or shut out, or whatever the case may be. And a wise person knows that whatever doesn't work out most likely wasn't for you in the first place, and it is not of your highest good. Therefore, that means there's something else that's better for you. But this fear, it's ultimately, I feel like the Five of Pentacles in this instance, it is a fear of rejection and a fear of abandonment, kind of this fear of unworthiness as well, because it's like, when I see the Five of Pentacles, it makes me think of a church. And churches usually are known for charity, giving back to people. And some churches pay bills for people. They have utility assistance. Some have organizations for children, or they have toy drives and things like that, right? So when I look at this card, I think of a charity and I think of church. When you think of church, sometimes you think of religion, good or bad, good or evil, heaven or hell, and all that, right? These people, they seem, on the surface, they seem to be homeless, or they, are in poverty. So it's almost like you might perceive yourself as not being worthy of having, or that you lack something if you're not, well, I wasn't a good person, or if I don't do this right, or if I don't do that, or I made a mistake, or I messed up, I'm unworthy of receiving, or I can't have, or why should I? So yeah, there is this fear that you are going to overcome. I feel like it is a fear. The death card being here, the death card is an inevitable ending that everyone fears, you know, but it's also something that a wise person knows, that death is just another cycle of life, and after death there's life in a different way, whatever you believe in. But just in this instance, that you might fear a little bit the unknown, like fear of success for some of you, fear of things actually going right for you, actually going your way. There could be that fear as well. The fear of the victory. And it might be a bittersweet one because of the things that maybe you've had to let go of or release, that you were called to, things that have came to an inevitable end, maybe things that were unexpected to happen, but it was inevitable, things that you've outgrown. It's time for new life. It's time for a new beginning. With that sun rising in the background, this is a new horizon. With this death and all of that, there's still a new beginning. No matter how much we plead, no matter how much we drag our feet, it's going to happen, right? So victory is going to happen too. Clarity, some sort of victory is going to happen. sometimes I feel like this is the gift of truth and revelation. Sometimes when we ask for things, it's like, you know, when you knock, believe that the door shall be open. When you ask, believe that you're going to receive. So if you ask Spirit for a blessing in your life, and Spirit says, okay, I got you, but this is what's going to happen. This is not something that is going to be substantial in your life. So it has to go. This blessing that you're asking for, these things that you're holding on to, they don't resonate. They're not a vibrational match to what you're asking for and where you're going. Or there's things within inside of you that are not going to be able to contain what you're praying and asking for. So you have to work on these things. And it might be really painful shit. It might be things that you don't want to, but you know that you have to. Because we always know. Like, just like as a child, like we know when we have something that we're supposed to do and we don't do it, we know. So it's like, we can pretend that we don't know, but there's certain things within ourselves that maybe not so cute, certain things that might be painful to address, might be things that you were like, I ain't doing that. Like, I'm fine where I'm at, but you're lying to yourself. So this process is not, one that is a cakewalk, and it hasn't been for some of you. But what comes with this is clarity and truth. And also that clarity and truth that you're not someone that is lacking. You're not someone that is unloved and you're not good enough. Like, you're going to uncover the truth of these lies maybe that you've told yourself, because these are things that I feel like sometimes are comfortable to believe. Even if we know it's detrimental or it's not a healthy thought, but it seems more comfortable. It seems more realistic than to believe that you are a victorious person, or that you will be victorious, or that you do deserve, you know, healthier things in your life. It's easy to believe in the latter because that's what you've been through. So some of you guys, it could also be too, like, some of the people that you have in your life, they might be in a poverty mindset, and they kind of keep you in that space, and it's comfortable because you resonate. You feel like, oh, we vibe because we could talk about our issues all day, every day, but there's no solution to the problem. There's no, well, why don't we just knock on this church door and see if they can help us? It's like, oh, well, we're never going to, or it's a companion to that. And if it's not a literal person, it's your own beliefs that are a companion to you, validating these feelings like, oh, okay, I'm never going to have, or I'm not good enough, or if I do it, it's just going to fail. You got to eliminate that. And yeah, the harsh truth is that there will be times where you hear no, where you'll go after opportunities and it may not work out, but you have to understand that everything happens for a reason. So if it doesn't, it's because there's so many things in the universe, so many different scenarios and different outcomes in the universe. But when you face the so-called rejection, see it as, it's not for me. It doesn't speak to the fact that you're not good enough, you're not this enough, and that person is the only person in the world. And if it's not them, then it's nobody else. Like, if it didn't work out, that means it wasn't meant to work out. If you don't get the job, it means that job wasn't for you. You might not really like it in the end, or that person, that man, or that woman that you think that you can't live without, or you got to have. No. And that's a tough thing to swallow. I know, that's a tough pill to swallow. I say it all the time. Like, as a human, I get it and I understand how it feels, especially in the moment. You don't want to hear that someone that you want so badly is not the person for you. You know what I mean? And they may not even be a bad person to you. They're just not the person. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we can project what we want to see onto people or situations and things, that desire that we have in our heart, and we place it on the wrong thing or the wrong person. And I got this analogy for someone that I read for. I was like, you have a seed in your heart of the person that you desire and the person that you deserve ultimately. Like, so let's say, like, your husband or your whatever, your person is a size in this clothing and they're this height. So there's a suit that's already tailored for this person, but every man that you meet, you're trying to get them to fit into that tuxedo or that dress. If it's a woman or whatever, you're trying to get them to fit into that mold, and they don't fit. So it's like, oh, let's clip it, let's retailor it, And I'm not talking about a list where it's like, oh, I only want to marry somebody that has red hair, or this person has to be 6'10", whatever. That's extreme. But there really is some people that's that tall, ain't it? Yeah, I think so. There's some tall ass motherfuckers in the world. Look at the NBA. But like, you have a, a seed in your heart that is pure, that is truly what it is that your heart and soul really desires. But you go out and you might find somebody that kind of fits it a little bit, like, oh, he can, if I just cut the trousers down at the bottom just a little bit to make it fit, because he's not as tall, or he's not as, he's a little too tall or whatever. So he might have certain things about him that you don't necessarily like, or may not fit the bill. Well, I'm going to settle because, you know what? I really like this guy. We hit it off, but there's certain things that we don't really resonate on. Certain things, they don't want kids, but I do. But maybe I can convince them. So you're retailoring something that's not meant to. And I said this before. Let's say you buy a designer suit and it's already custom made for the person that it's meant for, but you're trying to shop it. Like Kim Kardashian had no business putting her big ass bag in Marilyn Monroe shit. Like, you don't fit it. So you're trying to lose weight to fit in this dress. I don't even know if that's really true, but I think it was. I think she did say that this dress really belonged to Marilyn Monroe, and she tried to put it on and try to retailer it, try to lose weight and all this stuff to fit in it, and buttons is popping and seams is busting out. Like, that's a sign. Like, that's shit. And me personally, I don't even mean to like get off topic, but just that heifer had no business doing that. That's like disrespectful, and like you're trying to, like, personally in my perception, like you're trying to take on someone else's energy in a very disrespectful way. I don't like that shit. But anyway, it's a whole nother topic. But like, back to what I was saying, trying to put someone in a situation where they don't fit, and you're trying to tailor to make it fit when it's not meant. There will never be another Marilyn Monroe. No matter how much somebody tries to dress themselves up and glamorize, and I don't care if Kanye West told you the next Marilyn Monroe, that's a goddamn lie. Like, there's only one of us. There's only one of you. There's only one of the person that's meant for you. So you can't try to duplicate that, try to forfeit it for something that doesn't fit, because you're never going to be happy. That's the thing. You're never really going to be fully happy with something that's not meant for you. Eventually, it's going to die down. The high is going to come down. Eventually, there's this point where you kind of regret what you've done. There's a point where you say to yourself, I should have did this, or I should have did that. And you don't want to reach that place. But some people are that desperate where they'll settle and just to say that they have a man, or they have a wife, or they look good, or they look good on paper, or I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to be out on the streets, or whatever you think that you limit the possibilities of what God can bless you with, and the divine, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that you'll limit your blessings, you forfeit what is tailored and meant just for you. And I'm not just speaking about love and relationships. It could be a career, a job, a home, anything. Don't settle on the first thing that looks nice and shiny. If be open to things that you feel led to, but once you find that it doesn't resonate, don't hold on to it. Be okay to let things go, and if it aligns, it aligns, and if it doesn't, make space for what is for you. And that's with anything in life. Seduction and adaptability. So seduction is Pisces and Jupiter. And I don't feel like seduction in a dark sense. I feel like it's being able to attract what you want by using your gifts, by using your abilities, your manifestation abilities. And then you have adaptability, which is Gemini, or Moon in Gemini. It's kind of giving Kali energy a little bit. So being okay with adapting, even if that means you have to destroy things that your ego or whatever parts of yourself clings on to certain things, like being okay, like, you know what, tomorrow I may not actually believe this anymore. That might not be something I resonate with anymore. Or this person, we might have resonated at one season or point in our life, and I'm blessed and I'm happy to experience it, but we no longer resonate anymore. And it's okay. You adapt with life. You're open. Okay. So I don't know. That resonates. Status and enterprise. So you have status, which is Jupiter in Taurus, second house. Yeah, this is about, for some of you, I'm getting two different messages, that this is about what's your destiny versus what it is that looks good on paper. Because Taurus energy does represent possessions, and it does represent like finances and money, the house of money, house of career, things like that. Um, but it can also, for me, and also with the Jupiter energy that represents luck, it represents fortune, expansion, travel, cultural things. So being open minded and not being so fixed on how something has to look or how it comes. So that fortune, that multi-million fortune dollar deal, whatever in your mind that you have, or that idea, that business idea that you have, is great, grand. And you might be focused on, oh, it has to manifest this way, or I wanted to be with this specific company. And sometimes, like, the things that we manifest, it can be very specific down to the T, but in some instances they'll manifest, but it might manifest differently in a way that you didn't even see. Like, it's greater than what you had in your mind. This Enterprise card, I always think of like someone doing a palm reading, because there's like all these different symbols in this hand, like the planets, the zodiac, written in this person's hand, and it's Jupiter in Aries. So there's something, again, and it goes back to what's meant for you, what's destined for you, where your blessings lie. One thing that may be for you, your path, it may not be the same blueprint for the next person. So there's only one you. Your path is unique. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I also feel like too, like your path, there's things that are in alignment for you, that where others might be able to play the status quo and choose things that are not really in alignment with their spirit. Some of you, or some of us, that's not our path. Like when we do things that are against what our soul resonates with, what our soul stands for, we feel dis-ease and discomfort. We feel sadness, we feel stagnation, we feel confusion, because our spirit is like, nah, that's not it. um so I feel like if you're a soul fed, soul driven person, a lot of things that seem to be normalized and societal norms, and I find this with people that have, like, people that are soul driven individuals, a heart driven people, they usually go against the status quo in their life. Even if they try to be quote unquote normal or like everybody else, they don't quite fit in. Or the things that they try to do that everybody else might be able to do, like some people might be able to do this. Let's say, I'm just going to just call it out, because it is what it is. Not everybody that reads tarot has good intentions. So like, let's say for instance, people that just come on YouTube just to get views, get, to say that they're a content creator or a YouTube influencer so they can get money, thousands of dollars or whatever, right? Or if even if it's not, let's say not tarot, but let's say like any type of content creator, a gamer, whatever, they want to come on just to get endorsements and get deals. Like, they don't have love for what they're really doing. They don't feel solely driven and passion to do what they do. It comes with that. And you might be like, well, dang, these people over here is getting all, you know, seemingly getting ahead. And what's up, like, what's up, spirit? Or you might say, like, I'm not going out dating this person and doing that with everybody else, and I'm still single, and these people are over here in relationships. Some people are able to do things that are against maybe what you perceive is morally correct, or what you perceive is just not really of an integrity, right? So some people can do that. That's not your path. Like, you can't do that. That's not for you. Though it may seem like it's going to take longer, or it may seem like what you're doing is a waste of time in your life, because at times, I'm gonna be honest, like this tarot shit sometimes, like, you know what I mean, like it's a gift. I do acknowledge it as a gift, and I love it and I enjoy it, but sometimes it is overwhelming, and sometimes it does get a little discouraging. But and on top of that, some people may be more willing to go out there and do more, or make more time, or invest more time and energy in things, and it pays back. But again, the comparison thing, like your journey, there's only one you. There's only one you, and your path is your path. No matter how many different directions you go in, it's your timeline, your path that's unique. Period. So whoever this is for, you have some type of new beginning. You have something that you're being guided to trust spirit on. And I see like you doing the work behind the scenes, making space, making way for whatever this is. And the status card, I do believe that it is destined for you to, and I'm not trying to kiss ass because this message is not for everybody. I recognize that. This is a general guidance read. So generally speaking, it kind of have to discern what's a message for you and what's not. And don't just pick it out because it sounds cute or throw it to the side because you don't want to hear it, you know, if it's for you at least. But I do feel like for some, where this reading resonates, that you are going to be put in a high position in life, okay, where you'll have some high level of status. It's destined for you. Why? Because there's a level of authority. And I say this all the time, that when divine spirit versus when people choose people to be celebrities, or the world chooses who's popular, who's not, who's hot, who's not, versus when God chooses and places people where, you know, divine source will put us in a position to be of that. It's because it's like you could trust that. It's not the people choosing because they like the way the person looks, or because they like the way that they sing or dance, or how they dribble a ball, or some fake votes, some, you know, fake votes and choose a president and be like, we want this because of a certain agenda. No, spirit will promote a person that they want. Okay, not to get too biblical, but let me just share this real quick. Some of you guys already know the story of David and Saul. So they were both, in essence, in the end, they were both kings at some point. So King Saul was appointed and chosen by the people. The people wanted a king, so they chose who they thought looked best, right? The credentials of what he looked like, and, you know, the aesthetic and all of that. Like, he's king, we want him, right? So they chose Saul. At some point, Saul, it got to a place where God was like, we gotta, you know, Saul, you need to sit your ass down. And I'm just, you know, modernizing the story. So let's say if it was like a president in our modern day and time, and the people chose that president because they liked the game he was talking. He talked a good game, and they liked the way he looked and all of that. So they choose Saul. And later on, it's like, okay, it's time for a new president. We need to do away with Saul. God's like, I need you to choose who I want to be in the forefront, who I know has a heart for me, who has a divine, you know, heart, who has integrity, who has all of that. And beyond the looks and beyond the status, I want someone that has the heart for this. So who was it? Samuel. Yeah, Samuel was the prophet that appointed both kings. So he went looking for the next king. He went to David's father's house, and he was like, you know, looking for his sons. Like, how many sons do you have? And he seen one of the sons. He was like, surely it's him, because he got the stature, he got the height, he got this, he got that. And God was like, nah, I don't choose people based off of appearances. I choose based off of the heart of a person, the character of a person. So he was like, okay, well, it's not him. So he keeps looking around. It's not him. In his spirit, he like, nah, it's not him. It's not him. And then he was like, do you have any other sons? And the dad, David's father, was like, yeah, I have my son David. He's in the back tending to the sheep. He's doing work, right? He goes out and he looks and he sees David, and he appoints him as king. It happens at some point. But the thing is David didn't look the part. He was working. He was tending the sheep. So let's say David worked a 9-to-5 job. He didn't have the big muscles. He wasn't tall. He didn't have a good job. He didn't have the gift of gab. He didn't have all of that, but he had the heart. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about at the end of the day. It's not who looks the part, who looks spiritual, who talks all that spiritual game and all of that, but who has the heart to be put in a certain position of authority. That's what it is about. Not what family you were born in and who you know and how you're dressed and the car. That shit does not matter. Those are not spiritual things. Those are physical things. Those are material things. Some superficial things. So the authority card is at the bottom of the deck. Can you see it? Hold on. kind of hard to see. The authority card is at the bottom of the deck, and this is Mars and Capricorn. So this is somebody that has the passion for the work that needs to be done. You know, Capricorns are hard workers. They're about their biz naive. They are usually bosses. They have the boss energy. And at the bottom of that was originality, which is Mercury and Aquarius. So people that have inventive minds that think outside of the box, genius thinking that can communicate things that may be not necessarily mainstream things. So these might be strange inventions. They may be ahead of their time, but this is this is why I say, like, creatively speaking, like a lot of people that have this niche for spiritual teachings and people that are into the tarot, some of us have misplaced gifts where, yeah, we have the ability because we're spiritually gifted people, but misplaced gifting, what I mean is that spirit could use you far beyond just tarot and cards and the realm of speaking that you're in. You might be a prophetic voice. You might say things that does not make sense to the average person at the time, but later it may make sense later. Or the visions or the things that you create with your hands, if you're a creator or you're a writer, certain topics and subjects, prophetic people are typically creative people. They are typically people that are kind of genius. Their minds go far out there. That's why you got to be grounded. And I learned this from an elder. Like, you have to ground your spiritual gifts, because if you're too out there, you can become mentally insane, literally, because your mind is so far out in advance. Like, you think ahead, you think beyond this physical realm. You could see linears ahead of things. So when you say certain stuff, it may not be popular at the time, and don't dismiss that just yet when people don't really get it, because it might be something that makes sense later in time, right? Some people are way ahead of their time. Like, certain inventions and technologies that we are using today were created decades ago, like hundreds of years ago, where these technologies are now being used. These medicines are now being used, the healthy ones anyway. But I feel like you guys have that gift and originality. You're not doing what monkey see, monkey do, and all the time, like, all the while everybody might be going over here doing this, and you're in your own little space creating. And I know that's not going to resonate with everybody, of course. It's not going to resonate. Yeah, yeah. I understand that sometimes, like, certain things that are being said, it is not going to register with everybody. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a fine line between being crazy versus being just ahead of your time, or speaking of things or seeing things in the spirit that is not here in the physical, and it could easily be written off as like, oh, that's stupid, or that's impossible. How are you going to do that? Or how is that going to be created? But if it's something that you can see with your spiritual eye, and you can see the ways and the how to make it happen and manifest it, then it's definitely possible, creatively speaking. Okay. Yeah, some of you guys might be into astrology as well. Something with your 11th house may be significant, maybe even in your 10th or your second, your first house. You have a gift in communication. There's a lot of Mercury energy too, Jupiter energy as well. More Jupiter energy than anything. So this can represent like where you're most, skilled, or where your expansion comes from, your learning comes from as well. I would look into that. And some of you guys already know your chart, like, your first and last name. Your chart to the T. Like, Okay. I'm sorry I wasn't getting no love reads. Maybe I need to be specific. But I just left this up to Divine Spirit. Like, what you want to say? So love might come separately. I might do another live. How long have I been on here? I've been on here for like 54 minutes. Almost an hour. Not quite. I think I'll do a love reading, because I know if half of this don't mean shit to y'all unless I'm talking about a man or something. But I'm just saying. Yeah, like some of this should be like, bitch, I don't care. Like, where's so and so at with me? Okay, where he at? I'm trying to see where he at. Okay, I need to know where is Adam at with me. How is he feeling? What he doing? I get it. So I'll do a separate love read because this was not really of the topic of love. It kind of touched on different things, but yeah. So I'll do a separate reading. Much love as always, y'all.